What's up guys, it's B522 from Some Guys on Xbox Live, and back with another drift build and tune video. Today's video is going to be on a staple in the drifting world, the Nissan Silvia S15. This car is personally one of my favorite drift cars, going way back to Forza 2 days, doing tandem drifting, custom lobbies back then, but you know, it's still a competitive drift car, still a great chassis to use today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the build. Alright, so in the upgrade shop, first thing we're going to do is go over to conversions, and we're going to swap in the 2.6 liter inline 6 from the Skyline GTR. I'm going to leave the drivetrain to stock. So on to engine upgrades. I'm going to do race intake, race fuel system, race ignition, race exhaust, race cams, race valves, race displacement, race pistons and compression. I'm going to leave the stock twin turbos, stock intercooler, stock oil and cooling, and race flywheel. Platform and handling. Go with race brakes, race springs and dampers, race front anti-roll bars, and race rear anti-roll bars, race roll cage, and race weight reduction. Now on the drivetrain, I'm going to put on the race clutch, race transmission, race driveline, and race differential. On the tires and rims. For tire compound, we're going to use Sport Tire Compound. Going to bump the front tires up all the way to 245s, and the rear tires all the way up to 275s. For wheels, I use the Wed Sports TC105N. You can use whatever wheel style you like, just know that lighter is usually better. And I bump the wheels up to 18 inches, both front and rear. And onto aero. You can use any of these bumpers, just don't go with the Forza race bumper, but any of the street front bumpers will work fine. Now wings are a little bit of a different story. You can test these out, see if they change the handling balance for you. The trial one made the car handle a little bit differently. The first two street ones didn't do too much, but I personally like the clean look of having no wing. Rear bumpers, any of the street ones will work. Same thing with the side skirts. And for the hood, I actually don't have this on yet. I'm going to put on the street hood. It reduces weight over the front end, helps out the balance a little bit. So if you like it, go ahead and put it on. If you don't worry about it. Alright, so now we'll move on to the tuning settings. So front tires, we're going to bump up to 32.5. The rears, we're going to bump down to 29.5. For gearing, the final drive is going to be 3.6, 3.63 for first, 2.20 for second, 1.43 for third, 1.23 for fourth, 1.09 for fifth, and 0.96 for sixth gear. Camber, we're going to do -3 degrees in the front, -2.7 in the rear. For toe, we're going to do 0.5 degrees out the front, and in the rear we're going to do 0.2 degrees out. For caster, we're going to do 7.0. Anti-roll bars, 21.3 in the front, 19.7 in the rear. For springs, try to get as close to 585 in the front as possible and 549 in the rear as possible. For ride height, we're going to lower all the way down both front and rear. Damping, we're going to go 10.0 in the front for rebound, 9.7 in the rear, and for bump, 7.2 in the front and 6.9 in the rear. I'm going to leave aero stock. For braking, we're going to do 45% for the balance and 90% for the pressure. For differential, we're going to go 50% acceleration and 15% deceleration. So now let's go take this thing for a test run. So building this car was a little bit of a process. I ended up trying 3 different engines. One was the stock 4-cylinder, one being the inline 6 that's in there now, and the other one was the V8 from the Corvette. And the V8 version actually worked out pretty well. I do have another S15 drift car with the big wing on it and the Corvette V8 that I use occasionally. But with S15 being sort of a classic Japanese drift car, I wanted to have one that had a Japanese engine in it. And so the stock 4-cylinder, when you got the power up to the level you needed it to be, the power delivery was real peaky. It wasn't smooth. And that's one thing I kind of like about V8s is they're real smooth when you're drifting. You have a lot of low end torque. Kind of want to get something a little similar to that. So the 4-cylinder wasn't really cutting it. So with the RB26, you get a good balance between power and torque, good wide power band. Power delivery is real smooth, so you can, sort of keep your foot planted and dial in the angle you need. And it's real responsive, works out real great. So I'm happy with the end result. If you guys would like to see the V8 version though, let me know in the comments. I can make that happen. But yeah, let me know how you guys like this tune. As always, I'm open to requests for both drift builds and racing builds. Just let me know if you have any in the comments. Thanks for watching.